What's up, y'all? It's TruthTiger, and I'm going to tell you all today that I don't hate life anymore. I used to really be hating life. I used to really be like weary of life. I used to really be just thinking a lot about how people did me wrong in the past, ruminating on childhood and stuff like that in not the best ways. And I was just frustrated. I was just frustrated and annoyed by everything, because I had a lot of crap thrown on me. I had a lot of people stab me in the back. You know, I came from a family that had a lot of drama and a lot of ridiculousness. And to me, it's just like frustration is just kind of what I knew. Drama is kind of just what I knew. And there's a lot of negativity in this world. This world is not like this really nice, positive place. The world is pretty negative. And it's easy to be caught up on the negativity of the world. And if you're not able to make like a shield around yourself, and you're not able to be very self-contained and your own person who's in your own energy, all that negativity of the world is going to rub off on you. Your average person is not very considerate, not very empathetic. Your average person is just not really that great of a person. So you're having to be around all these people, and it's just kind of draining. Like going to the grocery store. It's draining. You got all these people around. They're blocking the aisles with their carts. It's draining, It is. And I used to just be too focused on that. And I realized I just kind of have to block most people out and just focus on those positive people. Focus on those cool people that are out there. They are out there, but I just have to focus on that. And really, I have to focus on myself and what I'm doing. I have to focus on my own internal world. What am I thinking about? What am I doing? What am I moving forward to in life? I have to focus on that a lot. I have to focus on God. I have to focus on my spiritual connection. I have to really be focused on these things. If I'm focused on the negativity of the world, and I'm just too focused on the world in general, and I'm just too focused on society and on the matrix, and I'm too focused on politics and the drama and all that stuff, if I have too much focus on that, it's going to put me in a bad mood. It's going to make me frustrated. It's going to make me hate life. And look, I'm not saying that, I'm not angry about stuff. I'm not saying there's things that don't frustrate me. I'm not saying I'm happy with it or good with it. It's just I have other things to focus on. I have my own life. I have God. I have a lot of others. I have my own goals. And, I do have some good people coming into my life too. I have these other things happening. So because I have these other things happening, I can focus on these other things rather than just being solely focused on these problems, rather than just being solely focused on this drama, because the drama is going to kind of always be there. There's always been drama. There always will be drama. That's just what it is. There's always going to be some BS. And you can choose to let that BS rule you. You can choose to let the story of all that BS rule you. You can choose that. Or you can choose to focus on yourself and to focus on accomplishing your goals. Focus on moving forward. Focus on getting the things done that you need to get done. Because in the past, I let the anger and the story of that BS and the shame and the whatever, all the negativity of that BS, the anxiety, I let that rule over me. And look, you can't repress your emotions. You got to just feel the way you feel. It's the only way you can feel is the way that you feel. I'm not saying to repress it or to shove it deep down. I mean, quite the opposite. You have to feel it and express it, but, what I'm saying is to not stay stuck on it, to not meditate on it, to not just be in this inner looping thought pattern of it. And, it's hard to control your thoughts. You can't really control your thoughts, but you can control your actions. And you can do different things. You can go outside and take a walk. You can go to the gym. You can try to keep your house clean. You can read a book. You can, whatever it is, whatever is a positive thing for you to do to just kind of get you in that good mood, to get you in that right state. Start doing those things. Also, start resting too. Start resting. Start relaxing. Start taking that good rest time for yourself. Get that good you time. And I mean, resting could mean watching a good movie. Resting could mean going for a walk. Resting could mean gardening. Or resting could just mean lying on the couch just exhausted. Whatever it is, but you have to find ways to put your mind and your body at rest. You know, God made the seventh day for us to rest for a reason. Rest is very important. You can't just be constantly go, go, go. It's not going to work. You're going to burn yourself out. Especially with a lot of the stuff we've been through, we need these times of healing. We need these times to rest and relax. And I know for myself, I've had to really work hard and freaking bust my butt to, just get out of the hole. I have, to get out of the hole, to get out of the mental hole, the emotional hole, just to not be stuck. I've had to work very hard. And now I can chill out and I can say, all right, I've done this hard work. Now I can repair, I can rest. Because I've done the hard work. And I would encourage all y'all to do the hard work if you have not done the hard work already. And if you have done the hard work, you can enjoy it. You can enjoy it. You can relax. You can have a good time, and you can enjoy it. And just having a mentality of hating life and being angry at everything and just being bitter and stuff, it's not the right way to be. And the thing is, I understand being angry. I do. There's a lot of times where I was really angry at stuff, really upset about stuff. I felt that a lot. I'm not saying that, you shouldn't feel that, but you don't want to stay in this state where you're just bitter and you're mad at everything and you're angry at the world. I'm angry at the way the world is. I'm angry at the Matrix, but I'm not like going around every day like, oh, I hate this place. I hate it here. I mean, I am a little bit, but that's not. There's other bigger, better things that are within me. There's other bigger, better things that I'm focused on. There's other bigger, better things that I can focus on. You want to focus on the positive. You want to focus on your goals. You don't want to ignore problems. You don't want to ignore problems or ignore issues. You don't want to pretend the problems don't exist. You don't want to do that either, but with this negative stuff, it's like, you want to move on. You want to be like, all right, what can I accomplish? What can I do? And I'm not saying to ignore it. I'm not saying to not talk about it. But on some level, you do have to block this stuff out. There's only so much you can block out too, before it's time to say something. It's time to fix the problem. And look, you don't always have a solution. Sometimes it's just like, hey, there's a big problem. I don't know how to fix it, but it's a problem, and people don't really know about it. So I'm not saying you should be all fake happy and you should be all not paying attention to the BS and not calling out the BS for what it is, but you just don't want that to take you over. You don't want to walk in an attitude of bitterness. You don't. And I've had plenty bitter days, plenty bitter weeks, bitter months. I felt that way. I really have. And I've had people do weird stuff to me, treat me weird, whatever, and it's got to me. It's pissed me off. The games, the manipulation, the drama, it really has pissed me off. But the thing is I'm my own person, and I'm not going to tolerate those people. That's another big reason why I have peace. That's another big thing that's got me to this point where I'm just I don't hate my life anymore. Because I got rid of all the manipulators. They're not in my life. They're not close to me. They're not around me. I recognize the behavior pattern. I recognize the way these people twist the truth. I recognize how they gaslight. I recognize how they devalue. I recognize how they try to really come into your life and be real close to you in some way or another. Close friend, romantic relationship, your own family. I recognize how these people become close to you and start treating you weird. Now that they're close to you, you're much less likely to call it out. And you could be relying on these people emotionally, financially, whatever. You could be relying on these people in some way or another. Or there's something that, they could be holding over your head or something, and then you're kind of stuck in that. You know, and I have peace knowing that I'm my own person and I don't have to deal with those kind of people. I would not be making this video if I had that stuff going on around me. You know, I wouldn't be making this video if I had narcissists and toxic people and dramatic people in my circle close to me that I'm having to deal with that are making my life hell. I wouldn't be making this video. But the thing is, those people are gone. Those people are gone and they can't mess with me. And when new people like that try to show up and get in my life and try to work their way in, I know the patterns. I recognize it. And I'm like, nope, not going to hang out with me. Not going to do it. And it's like when you get to just come home to your house and you have peace, it's nice. It really is nice to just come home, have peace, not have to deal with all that. It really is. And, you know, I'd really encourage you all to like take control of your life, take control of your situation, be your own people, you know, live in your own domain, and just not let a bunch of fools come in with a bunch of weird energy. Not let people come in who want to control you. Not let people come in who want to tell you this and that. Not let people come in who want to be draining with all this drama. Not let people come in who always, they need you for this, they need you for that. They always need your attention. They always need your attention. No. I'm telling y'all, like, you're going to really hate your life being around these people. And the thing is, the majority of people in the world hate their lives. Most people out there, they're not happy. They don't like who they are. They don't like their situations. They have no control in their life whatsoever. They have just let society and the matrix and all these people around them and all this stuff around them, they have let all that just completely take over. And they don't even know who they are. They've lost their own sense of identity. And I'm telling y'all, like, reclaim that and you'll start to like your life. You'll start to like who you are. You'll start to feel happy. You won't be tripping out anymore. And I'm not saying there won't be bumps in the road. There will be some bumps in the road for sure. That stuff happens. Stuff is going to happen. But if it's not like you're just under the wheels, you know, because that's how I felt earlier in my life. I felt like I was just between the wheels. I felt like it was just one thing after another. One drama, one problem, one this, one that. And, you know, just constant drama and problems being thrown at me. And now I feel like I've gotten ahead of that stuff. That stuff is not running me over anymore. I'm now in front of it and ahead of it. And a big reason why is because I focused on myself. I focused on my own life. I focused on getting my own life right. I didn't worry about pleasing others. I didn't worry about these other people. I was not codependent or needy or like, you know, needing people to like me or, you know, I got to a point where I was just like, no more of this. I saw through the games. I saw through all these games they play, you know, they try to use your own kindness against you. They try to build this sense of obligation where it's like, well, this person is a family. This person is a close friend. This person is my spouse. This person is my whatever. I have an obligation to them. And they exploit that. And they drag you around, you know, because of your own sense of obligation and duty. And I realize that I'm not obligated to any of these people. I'm not. And I realize that a lot of these people, they try to act all fake nice, and they try to do all these nice gestures, and they try to act like my friend, and they're not. It's all a front. They're trying to get my supply. They're trying to suck the life out of me. They're trying to be negative. And, you know, when I've recognized those people, and there's a lot of them that are not on positive stuff, that are not on good stuff, that are not on love and kindness, that are not about loving their fellow. They're about themselves. They're not about respecting people's boundaries. They're not about respecting people's space. They're not about, you know, seeing you as an independent person. They want you to be an extension to them. And I'm realizing, like, okay, I have to set my own boundaries. I have to put my feet on the ground. I have to stand up for myself. And, you know, society tells you to just kind of get in line. You know, we're taught that, like, it's good to be compliant. It's good to always follow along, always follow the rules, always try to make everybody happy. So when you have that compliant mentality, all some narcissist has to do is come in and say, make me happy. You said something that you didn't even mean to say, and it offended me, and I'm mad at you. And all they got to do is just play these games. Oh, I'm really concerned about you. Is there something wrong with you? All they got to do is play these games. And because we're programmed to be compliant, we're like, oh man, is something wrong with me? This other person is acting in a very fake authoritative way, and they're saying they have a problem with me. They're saying I have a problem. They're saying I offended them. They're saying I need to change this and that. And that they seem to really have this false sense of confidence, so they must be right, you know? And it's like, no, they're not. They're just being manipulative. They're just being manipulative weirdos. And once you realize that like a lot of people are just like that and are very egotistical, and that kind of attitude just really gets enabled big time. And once you realize, like, all right, like, this world is not a good place. I talk about this a lot. The world's not a good place. And once I can kind of make peace with it, that there's a lot of manipulation and evil people, there's a lot of bad stuff out there. And once I can make peace with that, and I can say, all right, the world's not my friend. Most of the people in it are not my friend. Cool. I know what the deal is. I know what the game is. I'm not trying to have these false illusions that the world is this good place. I'm not buying into the gaslighting. I'm not buying into the masks. The world's evil. Most of the people in it are evil. And I've made peace with that. I don't have to be that. You know, the peace I have is that I don't have to be a part of that. I don't have to be like them. I don't have to do what everybody else is doing. I can be my own person. I don't have to be connected to that at all. They can live their lives. I'll live my life. I'll do my own thing. Whatever. I don't need these people. I don't need them to like me. I really don't. And, you know, in terms of the stuff they're doing in their life, it's best off if I, for the most part, don't pay attention to them. You can't bury your head in the sand and just ignore it completely, but I'm not going to have that be a primary focus of my mind. I'll acknowledge the crap they're doing. I'll acknowledge it, know it, and be aware of it, but I'm not going to let this stuff live in my head. My head, my thoughts, is used for stuff that's going to further me, that's going to do good in the world. You know, my thoughts are reserved for, you know, the way of God. My thoughts are not reserved for the way of the world. My thoughts are not reserved for all this just drama and ridiculousness that's just unending with these people. And that's what makes the world a miserable place, is you got a bunch of people that just got drama and they're egotistical, and you know, everybody's got these big egos and people don't really care about each other. And it's like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to participate. I really don't. And now that I'm just like, all right, I'm going to live my life my own way, think for myself, man, I'm so much happier. I don't feel miserable all the time. I used to really not like my life. And another thing I realize is when you stand for truth, when you stand for love, when you stand for kindness, when you stand for the real stuff, like, you get a target on your back. When you're like, hey, like, I don't want things to be this way. I want to change it. All the evil people are like, oh no, he's going to expose our manipulation. Oh no, we now looking at him realize we're doing it all wrong. Oh no, this good person is in opposition to our evil. So now that I realize, like, all right, because I'm choosing to live the path of good, there's going to be a lot of evil people who are going to try to take me out. And I've just accepted that. Like, okay, cool. It's not going to catch me by surprise because I know what it is. I really do. And I realize, just like with most of these people, the less I associate with them, the less they can get me with this stuff. If I just say nothing to them, they can't really do much to me. I'm just like, well, I'm just not going to tell these people much. I'm not going to talk to them much. And it's ironic because it's like they want my attention and stuff, and it's funny, but it's like, well, they're going to like find any way they can to try to attack me. So I'm like, I'm not going to talk to these people. They're not good for me. I don't really care for their company anyways. I'm just trying to be nice, you know? And now that I know the game, now that I know this game that I'm playing, now that I know what's really going on, it's like, all right, I get it. Like, just ignore most people, block them out completely, find the few nice people here and there, and hang out with them. And it's just like, the state of the world is not good, but I get to be my own person, live my own life, I can have my own accomplishments, and so can you. On that note, I'm going to end this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Much love, God bless, and I will see you all next time.